Hi there, my name is Daniel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to build a website on Softlink using the Softlink AI builder. So the first thing I want to do is right here on Softlink.ai, on this field I'm going to use 5 words to describe my business. So I'd say I have a coaching business for content creators. Okay, so that's more than 5 words to create my website. It's very interesting. It looks like a chat, and you say tell us your business name. So my business name is Daniel Coaching. Okay, so it says select business type. Okay, it says now choose your business type from the list provided. Now if I look at this, you can search this list and not find your business type, right? And that's fine. Like in this case I can find mine, which is business coach, but even if you can't find yours, you can just simply type here and say business coach and consultant, for example. Okay, so you can type anything here and that would be your business type. So you click on enter. Okay, so please select your unique selling points. You can choose up to 3 points. Okay, so the unique selling points, I would select friendly service, exceptional service, authentic business. So you just need to select 3, 1, 2, 3, then continue. So it's going to ask you, what type of website would you like to create? A landing page or a website? So in this case I'm going to choose a landing page. You can decide to create a landing page or a website or a funnel, an online shop. So in this case I'm going to create a landing page. Select your style. So let's choose a style for your website to customize the template appearance. Well, I like modern. You can choose minimalist or you can choose card. So I'm going to choose modern in this case. Continue. Okay, so before finalizing, please choose the accent color and font type to create your personalized website. Don't worry, you can change it later. Okay, so I'll just choose anyone here. I think I like this blue, and I'm going to select this text. I think I like this one, so create my website. And that's it. In less than 2 minutes, you have a website created. Now, if you don't have a Softlink account, so if this is your first time on Softlink, then you need to create an account. So just put in your first name, your last name, select the business category here, and you can create the account. Okay, but in my own case I already have a Softlink account, so if you already do, just click on login, and here I'm just going to log into demo. So this is my demo account right here, so I'll log in to get my website. And that's it, your website is ready. So as you can see, it's created an offer for me, right? 30% off, which in most cases people create landing pages for offers, right? And it's created this different offers, creative strategy. It's even put pricing. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so different pricing options: consulting, excellence, testing, development. Interesting. Empowering creators with passion and expertise. Okay, and unlock your potential with Daniel Coaching, trusted by industry leaders. So some testimonials here for me, and I can change all of this. So and it's created a form. Okay, so this is very interesting. Now you can click to regenerate if you want to have a different look for your website, or if you need help you can just click here, to contact one of our teams. And here you can edit and publish with Softlink, which is going to be my preferred option. This is another option here to see the different pages in the case of a website. But since it's a landing page, it's just 1 page. With a website you get 3 pages, and you can add more when you edit. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to proceed to the builder and show you how the builder works. So I click on go to editor. So right here on editor, one thing you want to do is edit text, for example. So if I want to change this text from empower yourself, you can click on edit this text. Just simply click on it, click on edit the text, and you can say hi. So you can just enter what you want here, right? Okay, and that's it. And if you don't like the placement of this form, you can move it anywhere on the page. Now the other thing that I'm going to show you is editing for mobile responsiveness. So if you click on this, you can see the mobile site. Now with the mobile site, if you look at it, there's some optimization that needs to be done, so you might need to move things around. I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but before then, let me show you how to make some adjustments with the editor bar. So if you look at this editor bar here, it tells you about what is called the grid, right? So we have what is called the grid to help you adjust, how you move elements around. The grid is a very interesting technology that makes it, very easy for you to build your website and move things around. So it's called micro blocks, right? So we call it the micro blocks, which is a very unique technology, very modern. Now what's this going to do is it helps you set this block so you can drop each element, right, in a very interesting way on the page and on the website. So now let me show you an example. So if I want to add a new section on this page, I can click on this and say section and call it a blank section. Okay, so now this is a blank section, and you can see the default grid setting says 10 rows, which makes it this size. If I want it bigger, I can simply change this by clicking on the editor bar and say I want it to be 15 rows, and all of a sudden you can see now that's bigger, more space for me. Okay, the second thing I can do to this section is if I look at the gap between each grid, I can also adjust that. So I can decide, so take for instance, if I had an element, I can bring an element in here like an image, right, and move this image around. As you can see, this image shows the size of the blocks, but you can actually change that. How do you do that? All you need to do is click on the gap, and you can set the gap to be 2 here and 2, and as you can see, the gap in between the blocks are now smaller, giving you near pixel perfect design. You can even actually make it just 1 if you want it really small. As you can see, look at that. So that's now. So if I duplicate, I can clone this block by duplicating here, and there you go, side by side. But if I come here and change this to 10, as you can see, the gap in between the blocks here is 10, and then if I change this, so let's do something like this. If I duplicate this, let me bring this one here, okay, and bring this, duplicate this and bring this here. Okay, so you can see that the gap in between the blocks this way is actually different from this. So I can change this as well to 10, and that gives like perfect block size. Okay, so the other thing, but in my own case, sometimes I like pixel perfect designs for each section, so I can make this 2 and make this 2, to make it really slick, which I really like. Now the margin, you can also change the margin, right, of the section to 20, okay, and this 20. Okay, so let's try something here. So I make it 2, for example. Okay, and as you can see, it talks about the margin between each of the grid, right, and the section beneath. Okay, so if I make this, for example, 50, now look at that. So you can see that this down part, right here, this side here, is the margin. Okay, and that's 50. But if I want it close or closer, I could make it 2. Now you can see that the block is now very close to the next section. Okay, and if I bring this here, okay, and I make this 2, you can see that it becomes closer to the edge, to the edges here, on both left and right. Now this is the micro grids, and this is how you can adjust, the microgrids. Of course you can, and this microgrid is for each section, so you can have, a gap of 2 and 2 within this section, but in the next section you can decide that you do want, a different dimension. So in this case you can decide to have a gap of 20, for example, right, for this section, and 20. Okay, and as you can see, the elements are smart, they adjust accordingly. Okay, and you can see the margin here is 48, this margin is 70, and that creates the difference that you see here. Okay, so that's how to adjust the microgrids for each section. Now let me show you how to adjust the microgrids for the mobile view. Okay, which is similar, but of course because the dimension is different, you can click on this section. In this case you might not want this much gap, so you can adjust the margin here, and first of all reduce the rows. So for mobile, let's say you don't want this length for your mobile view, you can reduce the rows and change these to 12, for example. Okay, and then make adjustment accordingly. So you can move this down and move this down, and this might be what what you want or what you're looking for. So the same thing applies, but you just need to understand the dimension and the fact that you have to adjust the margins for both desktop and mobile. So in this case, in the mobile view, I need more space to accommodate all the sections, so I can make these 40, for example, and you would notice here that I can now move all my sections, all the 4 images that I have around in the page this way, right? Or I can decide to even reduce them. Okay, so I just move this downwards and I can decide to reduce them. Okay, this way. So I could do this and make those images that appear as a portrait, make them actually appear as landscape, and I can as well set the gaps and margin to 2 and 2. Okay, as you can see, it's now neater. Okay, so this is how to edit your website on for the mobile view to be mobile responsive. Okay, now if you want to add a component on this, you can add the component in the desktop view and simply adjust them in the mobile view. So here I'm going to start adding more components. I can add a text, edit text, and type hi Daniel. Okay, and right here, there you go. So you can move it here and make adjustments, and of course each component has different setup on the editor bar. So the editor bar is how you adjust the font, how you adjust the size. You can underline it, so you can Control A and underline. You can stroke, you can change the font type, you can change the heading type, the line height, you can change the color, and position setting, which is also something very interesting. So even though you set the grid size the way you want the grid to be, right, you still have the option on the micro blocks builder, right, to pad each element. So you can pad it to move it around. So I can bottom pad, right, I can move it to the left, or I can move each element to the right, and the same thing applies to this. So even though if I like this, the way they're all perfect here, but let's say I want to move this slightly to one side for even more refinement, all you simply need to do is to pad it, and there you go. So it looks different. Or I can move it this way and pad it this way. Okay, or I could pad it towards the right or pad it towards from the top. So you can add paddings to each component in the page builder. So in this case, I can do something like this, I can do something like this, and you can as well drag and pad. So you can pad it this way and pad it this way, and now you have something like this. So it's really dynamic, the microgrid, the way it works. It's dynamic, it's interesting, and it makes it possible for you to do like pixel perfect designs in a very, very simple manner. Okay, and so that's it for the microgrid. So to build a website using a template, you simply need to go to your sales funnel, you click on my project, you click on create new project, and you select any of these templates here. So I'm going to look at this and use this template. Just so I'd say Dan's kitchen, for example, and you can use any of the templates available. Okay, so here I have the template. So this is a restaurant template. I like it. I love these dishes. I like the color. So you already have the template. All you need to do is just edit this to suit your needs. But here are a few things that you need to know. You can switch your pages. So let's say I want to navigate to see what's on my About Us page, for example. You can click on this and go to About Us. So from here you can edit. So you click on this top bar here, and you can edit this text. So you can edit it and put full stop if you want, for example, and that's it. And you can change this text to suit your purpose. And of course you can do anything on this page and move things around. So if I wanted to move this around, for example, you can move it this way, you can move it this way, and that's it. So that's the first thing you need to know. Use this top bar to switch pages. You can go back to the main page, or you can go back to the menu page, and you can make changes on each page. Now, how do you add more pages? So let's say you want more pages here, right? So you want a contact us page, for example. All you need to do is click on this structure. It's called structure. So on the structure, you see your page structure. Click on new page. You can decide a blank page, or you can decide template if you want. But in this case, we're going to use a blank page. So now you have a blank page. And the other thing you could do is you could go back to structure. You could look at About Us, and you could duplicate this page. So if you duplicate it, that's added to the structure, and now you can see copy of About Us, and there you go. So you can duplicate each page from the structure, and you can make adjustments to the page settings. You can mark a page as main. You can make a page inactive, so you can disable a page if you don't want your audience to see it. You can duplicate, you can rename a page, and you can also go to the page settings. So in this case, I'm going to go to page 4, and there it is, blank. So I can click on this plus or this one, any of the two. They both do the same thing. I can click on this plus and add an header, or add a footer, or add an hero section, for example. So I can click on hero section and select any of these templates. So if I click this, that's my hero section, and I can go back here and add sections. So you can either add sections, or you can add elements. So elements or sections. So in this case, I can add another section, About Us, or the theme. So I can add About Us. I can look at this template and select this. I can click on this and add some elements. So let's say I want to add a video element to this particular. So I can click on this, and I've added a video element to this section. I can change the video and enter a URL. So I can pick a URL from YouTube, Vimeo, right? Or you can upload yours and add the video to the page. Now let's say I want to add this video to a new section. So I can click on add here, go to section, and create a blank section. And then I can now add an element like a video on my blank section. So if I go on YouTube, for example, and just select any random video link and change the video and paste this right here, apply. So there's my video, and that's it. And I can open this up and add this here, and this is it. And just like I said in this video, you can open the editor. If you want more margins here, you can open the editor and add margin should be 30 and 30, for example, and there you go. So you have more space from top to where you have the first component. You can also reduce this. Okay, so, and of course you can duplicate this video, and let's say you want this item to go back. You can send to back, you can bring to front. So you can send to back with this, and you can bring to front. So if I click on send to back, so I can click on this, and this item and then I can click on this and say bring to front, for example. Okay, so I can send this back to back and I can bring it to front, and I can click on this settings and have some video settings here. I can mute the video, I can autoplay the video, and that's the autoplay there, and I can loop the video if I wanted to loop. Okay, and of course I can delete the video. Okay, so that's it. So you're probably asking, okay, then how do I publish a page? So let's go back to your main page, which is the restaurant, and now it says not yet published. So to publish a page and get your link, you need to click on the publish button. Then it says here get a free Softlink domain, or you can integrate yours. So I'm going to start with free and say Dan restaurant. Okay, and publish this. So if you click on this, there you go, you have your website on this link and your page is published. Now let's say you want to change this URL slug, which is the restaurant, that's everything that comes after this. You can come here, go to page structure, and under this main page you click on settings, page settings, and you can change the URL slug to home, for example. Save changes. Okay, and you can see that URL is now /home. Okay, so that's it. So the next thing we'll talk about is how do you set up a page from scratch. So how do you build a page from scratch? How do you build a website from scratch on Softlink? You click on the sales funnel from your dashboard. So after logging into Softlink, you log into your Softlink account and you find something like this. You go to your sales funnel and you click on my project. Now take note that the website builder on Softlink only works on desktop. So you can use the AI builder on mobile and even publish a website, but when you want to edit, you have to be on a desktop. Every other aspect of the application works on mobile, but the desktop, the website builder, you need to be on a desktop to build your website. And on mobile, you can then view the website, you can log into your account and do other things on your account. So create new project, blank project, and I'll call this blank project. Okay, so here now we have a blank project. Now I know that most people are often scared or worried about a blank project, not knowing what to do, but I'm going to show you here a few things that you need to do if you're building a website. So of course you know that your website is going to have an heading, so let's first add an header. Right, so we can click on this plus here and click header, and you can add any of these headers here. Okay, now we've added an header. The next thing we need is an hero section. So I can leverage these sections to build my website fast, or I can build it from scratch, right? But in this case, I'm just going to leverage the sections and move things around and change it to what I want, really. So here, you click on this, and there you go. So in 2 clicks, you have a tentative website. So what are the things that you probably need to do? Maybe you want to add a form to this page. How do you add a form to collect information? Okay, click on plus, create another section below, a blank section, and on this section, if the section isn't wide enough, you can open editor bar and make more rows. So I can make my rows 15 in this case. Okay, and I can change the background color to, let's use a very light and sweet color, this. Now I want to add an element, and the element is form. Okay, and this is my form. So setting up form is quite interesting. I'll show you how to do it. Click on submit. Now first, you have your first name, last name, email, phone number, and you have a submit button. So let's say you want to add more fields, you want to collect more information. For example, you can click on add field, you can click on multi-choice, and here I can change these to choose your recipe. Okay, and select some. So I can do this, select some. I can make it required. Then I have option 1. So option 1 is, let's say, sugar. And option 2 is salt. And option 3 is butter. Okay, so I have 3 options, right? And you can give them option to add other, so that the user can then add, whatever option is not available, right? They can select it and add other. So, or you can add more options, and that's it. You can save and continue. Now let's make some adjustments. So you can do the same thing here. If you want to collect a file, you can enable them to upload files. You can select the type of files you want them to upload and save and continue. The same thing with date picker. So you can select a date picker if you want them to select the date, say for an appointment, right? And you can make changes as you deem fit here. You can also take extra text fields, or single choice, or even long answer. The form is quite expansive and detailed. Now let's go back. So we have all these options. Let me show you a few things that I think are essential for collecting data on your form. The first is you might want to look at phone number. So let's say for the phone number, you don't want the country drop down. You can take that out and save. So you see, it's no longer there. Okay. Here, for the submit button, let's say after submitting a form, you want them to be redirected, which is something that is very common, especially when you're building funnels or building a website. So this is the option here. Under the submit button, you click on the settings here, and you say button content can be submit. You can say thank you. Button content can be submit your details. Okay, and after a user submits a form, you can show them a message, or you can redirect them to a page URL, and you can select a web address. Now that web address can be from your page, right? So you can select from your pages here, but this is a blank project anyway. So if you have pages that you want to redirect them to, that is part of this project, you can simply select those pages here, or you can just select web address, and the web address can be, so take for instance Google, or actually the web address can then be softlink.ai. And so after this form is submitted, the user will be taken to this website, and you can decide should it open on a current window or a new window. I prefer new window, so select new window and save, and that's it. So you click on continue, and under this form there are still settings. So there are settings like you can give the form a name, so you can say Softlink form, for example, and you can also set up follow-up email, and you can select it as a pop-up form if you want. So here, continue, and there you go. We have our form, long and detailed. So obviously we need a bit more lines in this grid, so I'm going to make this grid 20. Okay, and bring this form down a bit, or better still, reduce. I can reduce a little bit how the form looks, even though here. Okay, so now my form can fit into this grid. Okay, so I do have a lot of options though, and you can go back and edit the form, and it's going to show you this. You can delete some of the options, so you can delete this, you can delete file upload if you don't want it, and click on continue, and there it is. That's your form. So now let's say you want to connect this button to this form, for example. All you need to do, say you want to connect this button and make sure that the moment your user clicks this button, it takes them to the form. All you need to do is click on the button, go to edit, so you can edit button text here, or you can edit the link settings and link to a section on the page, and the section would be the standard blank, which is this section. Done. So this section here, you can edit the section if you want, and here you can see the structure. You can see each section here, and you can rename them. So you can rename the sections, or you can rename your pages under the structure, which is very interesting. So here now you've connected this button to scroll to this section. Now what you want to do is you obviously need a footer on this page. So you can click on this, and add a section, and the section can be a footer, and you can add this. Okay, so we have this beautiful footer right here for our page. Now this space here is too much, so I'm going to click on this, edit, and go to interactions. No, actually, yeah, and then rows, reduce the rows back to 15. Oh, still too much, maybe 12 then, or 14. Okay, which I like. And that's it. This is my website ready. I then need to go to my mobile view and see what it looks like on mobile. So this is what it looks like on mobile. Oh, something is going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this footer section and add more rows. So I can add more rows here. And click on this section and add more rows as well. Maybe make these 13. Then here I can actually reduce these rows back to 12. And that's it. So all done. Okay, now my page looks good. I like what it looks like. I can then go back to this. So remember, always check your grid settings both on mobile and on desktop. So I can then go back here and publish, and I can call this Dan course page and then publish it. Okay, so how do you change your site styles? To change your site styles easily, all you need to do is click on this site styles here. You can edit this theme and make it yours by selecting each of these and adding your colors, or you can select from these options here and apply. And that's it. In one button, your site styles will change. Now that's really cool. The other thing you can do under the site styles is your font. So you can change your font and select this font, for example, and all the fonts change. You can select this, you can select this, and any of the options, and automatically all of the fonts, right, will change, which makes it really easy. The other thing you can do, which is quite interesting on the Softlink builder, is let's look at this image, for example. If you click on the editor bar, it gives you an option to set up the radius of each angle uniquely. So I can do this and set 30. Just watch these angles here, look at them, and I can select this for 150, for example, which is this other angle. I can select 180 here, and I can select 300 here. Look at that. So right here I've been able to reshape this particular image, and that looks really cool, doesn't it? So you can do some really cool stuff with the image, and at the same time you can do this as well with the buttons. So you can edit these buttons and change the radius settings. So typically any component where you can set the radius settings, you can adjust it automatically and give it the shape that you want, which is really nice. Okay, so how do you connect your domain name to Softlink? The first thing you notice is when you want to publish a page, you're supposed to select the domain name option here, but I don't have any domain name integrated. Okay, so here you're going to go to the home page. So on the home page, you go to your dashboard rather. So from your dashboard, you go to settings, you go to integrations, and under integration you see domain integration. Now you can click on add domain and follow these instructions. And once you've done this, you click on proceed, then you enter the domain name here and click on done. In a few minutes or hours, this domain name is going to be integrated, and you can come into your website and go to your project, and on each project you're going to see it here at the point of publishing. So it's going to appear here under the list, and you can publish your website to your domain. Now that I have a nav option, I have a nav bar here, and I want to connect different pages to my nav bar. How do you do that? The first thing you're going to need to do is you need more pages. So we only have one page here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to page structure. I'll take this page, I'll either duplicate it or add a new page. So you click on menu structure, and from the menu structure you go to about us here, settings, you attach it to the about us page. So you say where do you want to direct it to? About us. Open a new window. Okay, and that's it. So if you open this and you click on about us, that's about us here on a new window. Okay, so how do you install your Google tag and Facebook pixel and TikTok pixel on Softlink? So I'm going to show you. It's quite simple. So right here on your home page, you go to the structure, and under structure you select any of the pages you want to install on. Although if this is your main page, then this is the default page to install the pixel on. So you click on settings, page settings, analytics, and you can find pixels here. So Meta Pixel, Google Analytics, and TikTok Pixel. So for Meta Pixel, you open this. You can either paste the pixel ID or the code. So I'm going to just copy the code here and paste the snippet code here and click on Save Changes. Or you can simply just copy the number on the pixel right here and paste it here and click on Save Changes. The same thing applies to Google Analytics, and you can on your Google code as well. So you can use either the code or the number in this case, and the same thing applies to TikTok pixel. So I already added my Facebook pixel here. I'm going to Save Changes and then click on the preview. You can see the Facebook pixel is installed here, and with the Google Site Assistant you can also see that the Google tags has been found. So you can use the Google Tag Assistant Companion or the Facebook Pixel Helper Chrome adapters to check if your site has successfully been integrated with the Facebook Pixel code or the Google Pixel code. Alright, that's it. Thank you. Okay, so go out there, use Softlink to build your website, to build your landing page and your funnels. And Softlink does more than that. We have email marketing. You can create a membership portal and sell your online courses. We have a robust CRM that lets you manage your customers and your leads. So go out there and use Softlink to build your vision and build your brand and take on the world. My name is Daniel Foley. It's been my pleasure to have this chat with you, to train you on how to use Softlink, and I look forward to what you build with it. See you in the next one. Bye.